that wonderful sound of refreshment, freedom, America. And yet you somehow found a way to abuse it last night. You went too far.
You abuse a lot of things, don't you?
Well, of course, because part of the problem is too drunk, limp dick, no interest from the women. So then you get home, you finally figure out it's working.
And you put yourself to sleep.
Yep, you pull a Justin Tucker, and this is what you get.
For more information on that, refer back to Thursday's Sports Edition.
He is your Uncle Dave, the Conquistador, Dave Heights.
He is your Uncle Kev, the Maestro Kevin Crane.
As always, welcome aboard to your Saturday morning hangover cure. This is a public service as we try to help you through your Saturday morning of depression, rejection. But that's what eggs and bacon and coffee and aspirin are for.
And that's why we bring you the most politically incorrect pop culture commentary around.
And we love doing it each and every week. We've got some things percolating for the future we'll discuss a little bit later. Some changes to the format. Not
percolating
drastic.
like your coffee pot this morning.
Yes. Always. Get the eggs, the bacon, the sausage frying up. Take the aspirin and get ready for about an hour and a half of phenomenal reviews. Music, TV and streaming, movies, books.
We got it all, baby.
But of course, what do we always start off with, Dave?
It's all about the rock and roll, so music is always our kickoff.
And we've got a buttload of songs for you. So, not a lot of new albums out. So we're going to discuss that in a few minutes, but really not a lot of new music coming out in terms of the full album format.
Of what we prefer to listen to.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
So, right now we've got a lot of singles, a lot of individual songs out there, and we're going to knock those all out for you here this week. Your Uncle Dave will take the reins. I would graciously love him to guide us through this.
Walk us through this.
Yes.
This
I
lonely
didn't want
road.
to say let you because I don't like saying that.
Oh, where do we go? Hell, let's run through the way I have them written down on the list. Starting off with Automobile from the Cold Stairs. An intriguing little bluesy number.
Very, considering the fact we're going to be talking about Billy Gibbons here soon, very interesting, almost ironic that this has a ZZ Top feel to it.
It does. It does very much have that vibe to it.
And you were the one that pulled me in on the Cold Stairs. So I blame you for the fact that I've been listening to them so much lately. And of course, I have read that this is the precursor to the Southern Part 2. Their sequel, or the second part to their album they released in 2024. I enjoyed it. Now, is it the greatest song ever? No.
No.
It's a tad derivative, but
it's kind of their formulaic.
This is what they do. This is what they do.
Yeah.
And either you like it or you don't. So I like it.
I enjoyed it.
I will give it a solid 3.
That's right where I'm at with
3
it.
for
A solid
for it.
3 on it.
Recommend it. Again, it definitely has distinct ZZ Top echoes throughout it.
It does, and that brings us with Billy Gibbons' new single, Living It Up Down in Texas. This had that 80s ZZ Top vibe. Could have been on Afterburner.
Now, I know you are a huge ZZ Top fan. And I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I know I'm going to, and that's fine. I'm used to the slings and arrows. I am used to all of the criticism, and I'm going to piss people off before the end of this show. I know I'm going to. Left, right, middle, I'll piss you all off. I just said that I liked the Cold Stares Automobile because it reminded me of, in part because it's a classic ZZ Top riff
Feel.
vibe feel to it. I did not like Living It Up Down in Texas because it sounded like Billy Gibbons is just trying to
Rehash
old ZZ Top.
It almost had that Sleeping Bag riff to it.
Yes.
Which is why I put it on Afterburner, which is what Sleeping Bag was
right,
on.
Right.
So it is a
But that
rehash.
doesn't mean you like it or you don't like it.
It's okay. It's okay.
See, I thought it was lazy. I thought it was a little bit lazy on Billy Gibbons' part.
It's kind of it's a rehash of what he's done before.
Right. Whereas I will accept it with the Cold Stares.
But we
I
hold
won't
Billy
accept
to
it.
a higher standard.
I won't accept it from Billy. I expect more from him.
Yes.
So I can only give Living It Up Down in Texas 2 frenzies.
Yeah, I gave it a week 2.5. So.
Now, I will say
tepid.
this. I will say this. Mediocre Billy Gibbons is better than most of the other shit that's out there.
This is true.
So take that in mind.
Take that. Just remember, it's Billy Gibbons, awesome guitarist, singer. We have higher expectations.
Yes.
Which is why we have downgraded it from what it probably is for most other people.
Right. It's, yes, that's a perfect way to put it. It would be phenomenal for somebody, an alien coming down from another planet. What is this you call rock and roll? Here, listen to Billy Gibbons. And we'll just throw this song at him. This is phenomenal. I want to conquer your planet and make Billy Gibbons your Lord God King.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you haven't listened to LaGrange yet. You
Right.
haven't listened to,
The good.
Give Me All Your Lovin'. You haven't listened to This Is Not the Best.
No.
I will make him Lord God King of the universe now.
This is what we're talking about.
Perspective.
Kids.
It's
Perspective.
perspective.
Oh.
All right, so
All
we've
right.
got the ZZ Top songs out of the way.
Yes. So now we move on. Spin Doctors, Still a Gorilla. This, to me, harkened to them trying to kind of have a Hives sound. And
Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's not a bad take. That's not a bad take at all. That's
So
a really good take, actually.
yeah, it had that Hives vibe to it. With the goofy lyrics,
God,
the
yeah, that's
solid,
really good.
the solid guitar riff going throughout.
Yeah, because this is harder and a little bit dirtier and nastier than anything we've ever heard from the Spin Doctors.
Yes.
Boy, I'm telling you, you and I are on the same page tonight. We got a lot of stuff going on that we're simpatico on. That's a brilliant take I did not think of. Yeah, with the silly lyrics that somehow make sense,
Yeah.
where they're not trying to be ultra serious.
No, they're
But
just
There's
throwing
no political commentary.
No,
There's
they're
no
just
social
throwing
commentary.
rhymes together.
Yeah, let's rhyme Godzilla with Gorilla. But it has that undercurrent, that harder rock, punk undercurrent to it.
Yes.
Which we're not used to from them because we're used to, what,
Pocket full of, yeah.
2 Princes and Pocket Full of Kryptonite, and that, yeah.
Yeah, that whole run. But this, the more I listen to it, the more I like it.
Oh, I can't get out of my head. I can't.
It's an earworm
It is an
from
earworm.
hell.
Yeah.
So this one I gave a frickin' solid 3.
Yes.
It's just, you have to listen to it.
Yes. That is where I am at. I am solid 3. The only reason I won't give it 3.5 is because I'm like, can I really give the Spin Doctors 3.5?
I know. That's. It's like, but I'm like,
But I
damn.
keep going back to this song when I'm like on Spotify or YouTube. What do I want to listen to? And there's still a gorilla.
You're still a gorilla.
You want a King Kong, but you got Godzilla.
But it's just
You have to listen to the lyrics.
To it.
Yes.
It's a musical earworm.
Yes, and you're
it's a good
referencing Scylla. Yeah. Greek mythology.
Come on. Brilliant lyrics in there.
I know bullshit doesn't smell like vanilla. It's just. I think they are already starting 4 steps behind because of all the bad press and the bullshit they got from the snobs, the critics, over the years about these guys. You can't take these guys with a grain of salt. They've had their little run here with Little Miss Can't Be Wrong and Two Princes, and that's it, and they're done and they're over, and they've laid low for a decade, and now they come back with this, and I'm like, holy shit, this song, I can't get it out of my head.
Exactly.
You're still a gorilla. So yeah, solid 3.
Very good.
Again, if this was anybody else, I'd probably give it a 3.5. But
they've got some overcoming to do.
Yes. Yeah, and we're being very sympathetic to the cause.
If this was the Hives, it would probably be a 4.
I would love to hear the Hives do this song. My God. Even more of a manic edge to it.
Oh, good Lord.
This would honestly be probably one of the greatest Hive songs of all time.
Exactly.
But yeah, unbelievably brilliant observation.
Now, are we downgrading it? We just said we're downgrading it because it's the Spin Doctors.
Well, I think I think you've got to take it in context.
Yeah. Is it a one-off?
We gave Billy Gibbons too hard of a time because of what we expect from him.
And now we've got a brilliant song from the Spin Doctors who haven't really given us much of anything.
That's okay. I will still stick with
a very strong 3.
That does not mean it could not be in competition at the end of the year for Song of the Year.
It's a potential.
I love it. I do love it. I absolutely love it. So what's next? What do we got next?
Close Enemies, Sound of a Train.
Now this is the new band that Aerosmith's Tom Hamilton formed. Now that Aerosmith is pretty much done and over.
Yeah. This was very intriguing. To me, it kind of started out having that Nickelback type vibe merged with the Black Crowes.
I like 2 parts of this song. So, of course, that's not a complete... I'm not ripping on it.
No.
I will say this. I'm going to be with Billy Gibbons here. I'll give it 2. I'll give it a 2 frenzy. And here's the 2 positives out of it. The chorus I liked. Because I like hearing the sound of a train because it means I'm leaving you. I love the chorus. And then the guitar towards the end was ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But everything in between was kind of generic.
It felt rehashed.
Yes. The lead singer wasn't necessarily outstanding. No. He wasn't anything special.
No, it was
But again, catchy chorus, great guitar at the end. So that's worth 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really enthusiastic about their future going forward. But, and again,
we'll see.
Tom Hamilton wasn't an integral part of Aerosmith, at least to me. And now, how much of an influence has he got on this band? Bass player. He's a bass player. You know? Sting and Geddy Lee are about the only 2 bass players, Michael Anthony, that I would follow if they were leading a band.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. So 2 for Sound of a Train.
Yep. And then we get into the Doobie Brothers run.
The triple play of the Doobie Brothers. New album, Walk This Road, coming out in a couple months.
We'll start with the title track, Walk This Road. It's kind of blah.
I think... Oh, my God. Where do I start with this? All three of them. Where do I start with these? You and I think when we started this podcast, we got to listen to Liberté, the last album. And every time I say that, I think of Cartman.
You respect my liberty.
That's all I can think of.
I know.
Every time I'm like, I think of Cartman.
Damn you, South Park.
Yeah. But unfortunately, and I thought with Michael McDonald coming back in, that things would be different.
And it wasn't.
None of these three songs jump out at me.
No.
Now, I will say this.
Call Me was better than Walk This Road,
See,
but not by
I would
much.
not agree at all. I'd say Call Me was the worst of the three. Lahaina, I guess it's like a tribute to Hawaii after what they went through.
Yeah, that was I saw it was a 2023.
Maybe that was off Liberté? Or maybe
No,
it's a redo?
It's a redo.
Okay.
Because the one I listened to was from 2023 with Mick Fleetwood.
Right. But that's going to be on the new album.
Yeah. So it's a
But where did the original come from?
I don't know.
But, see, okay, so they brought in Michael McDonald for that, because you can hear him on that.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a big presence on Call Me. He definitely has the lead on Walk This Road. The Walk This Road was the best of the three to me, and I still wasn't over the moon about it. It reminded me of a very, very weak, generic Allman Brothers song.
Yeah, I could see that.
None of the three impressed me at all.
None of them sounded great.
And I will tell you this. I had the album on pre-order because it was a good price. Canceled it. I said, no, none of these songs are good enough.
No. Very weak twos across the board.
I would say Walk This Road gets a 2. Call Me gets a 1.5. And Lahaina gets a weak 2. That's where I'd go. That's where I'd go.
All right. Just say no to the Doobie Brothers this go round.
And who would have ever thought we love the Doobies? Don't get me wrong, but ever since their heyday, after Minute by Minute, they just haven't been the same.
Yeah,
even bringing Michael McDonald back, it doesn't sound like the old Michael McDonald.
Something is missing.
Yes,
they have
the songwriting isn't there.
No, not at all.
Nope. So recapping. Stay away from all three songs from the Doobie Brothers.
X them out of your memories.
Billy Gibbons, probably stay away from, unless you're an alien and you've never listened to ZZ Top. Spin Doctors, very enthusiastic. Close Enemies, tepid. Cold Stares, decent recommendation. Good. Yep.
Who would have thought the Spin Doctors would take the cake on this one?
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's kind of a shocker.
I mean, now that I thought was going to be the weak link, and it turned out to be the gold standard.
Yep. Hey, one day you guys are gonna sit down and talk about the Doobie Brothers and Billy Gibbons, and you're gonna tell everybody the Spin Doctors are better.
What are you, nuts? Nope.
How big a joint are you smoking, bitch?
That's what you got.
All right. Dave and I are working on something for the future. A couple weeks from now. We have story time when it comes to the movies. If we decide we want to watch an old movie and we've got some kind of inspiration or something that spurred us into checking out an old movie that we'd watched before.
Maybe we're get together with friends who've never seen it.
Right.
I've got a ton lined up when I get the boys ready to go.
Right. I know Animal House, movies, among others.
Yes.
But now we started to think about the fact that with the lack of new music coming out, maybe it's time, not necessarily to do story time, but we're going to revisit some old albums. We're not going to review classic albums that we all know. We're not going to do Back in Black.
We're not going to do Slippery When Wet, Shout at the Devil.
Not the ones that we all know from beginning to end. We're going to pick some things maybe from the deeper catalog of some of these bands. And the inspiration for that was for Dave. You said it was a band called Snail?
Yeah, my college roommate had posted that he picked up a new LP. He likes the vinyl. He's kind of gotten into that kick. And so he goes to secondhand shops and pulled up this album by Snail. And he said, it's on Spotify. I actually recommend you guys giving it a listen. So, played a couple of songs, wasn't bad, and that got me thinking, you know, with a lack of music, maybe we should find something that we've never heard of or something that we haven't listened to in forever.
And then I happened to today listen to, it just popped up on my Spotify, an old Kinks album from 1981, Give the People What They Want. And I said, damn, I haven't listened to this album in probably 20 years. And so I flipped that on and I started listening to it. And yes, it's got Destroyer, which everybody knows and loves. Yeah. But the rest of the album, I'm like, this is something Dave and I should review. You know?
Yeah, go back and...
It's an album that I hadn't listened to, and you probably haven't listened to the whole thing ever.
God, maybe once.
There might be one or two other songs outside of Destroyer you would know, but in a general sense, these got us thinking about, let's go back when we have to, when it's necessary. New music will always be the most important.
Right.
But if we don't have new music, which is becoming more and more prevalent, let's revisit some of these classic albums. Or
the lesser known,
deeper catalog albums from some of these great bands. I don't know about Snail, sorry.
Hey, but it generated the idea.
Yes. Yeah, so for an example, obviously I just put the Kinks out there, something like Fastway, All Fired Up. Yeah. And everybody knows the
Hanoi Rocks.
Album. Yes, Hanoi Rocks would be a good one.
The great metal band that was cut short.
Y&T we talked about.
Yeah.
Dave and I probably have never really
I've never listened to an entire Y&T
studio.
album.
Right. So that would be another great band to dive into their back catalog on. So probably in a couple weeks, we're going to start doing this. We're going to start
lining some stuff up.
Yep. We're going to come up with a catchy name. Hopefully by next week we'll have that for you for when we dive into these classic albums. So just be prepared. Everything else is staying the same. The format otherwise staying the same. Now, one last thing in music before we move on. Just want to really quickly touch on the Grammys. I know we don't like the Grammys.
Yeah, but the red carpet's always good for a show.
Would you be talking about Kanye's wife?
Maybe.
I am old school. So here's my problem. Is that I went to look for pictures and I didn't want to take my safe search off. So everything was blurred out, but I could even tell. Oh my God. Yeah. How does this woman get away with this? You know? I mean, everything was there but the hoochie coo.
No, she was straight up.
How is she not violating public obscenity laws? But then I heard that Bruce Willis's daughter went out last week in some kind of protest, walking down the streets of Hollywood topless. So I don't know what the hell goes on in California anymore.
California's fucked.
But yeah, people were saying, where's the hashtag #MeToo movement for this woman? Obviously, Kanye probably bullied her into wearing this outfit.
Everything she wears, he has to bully her into wearing. Nobody in their right mind would walk out of the house wearing what she does.
Anyway, and of course, everything else about the Grammys was political. Everybody had to make a statement about this political cause or that political cause.
Blah, 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 blah.
And then, when it comes to what we care about, the music awards, the few music awards that are left for rock and roll, they still fucked them up, except for one. They fucked them up except for one. Rock Album of the Year. Rolling Stones. Hackney Diamonds. So at least we got that.
At least they got that.
But will Rock Performance of the Year, the Beatles, Now and Then,
No!
which was basically put together on a computer?
That's bullshit. That does not count.
Yeah, I did not
That
like
is
that.
rude.
I did not like that at all.
That's lame.
And then Metal went to Gojira. I like saying that because it sounds like Godzilla.
Gojira.
But good for the Stones. That's all I can say.
Good for them.
That's the only one that I can say I'm happy the Stones won. That's it. Good album. Very good album.
It is very good.
All right. TV and streaming. I don't really think we've got a lot to talk about here because Dave and I...
We're in the midst of a couple of series.
We have a plan. We have a plan. Okay?
It's not a concept of a plan. It's an actual plan.
I have finished Landman, season 1.
I am one episode shy of finishing season 2 of Tulsa King.
So I am now going to devote myself to Tulsa King, season 2.
And I will be watching Landman on a slow basis with the missus because she decided she wants to see.
Dave's got a different agenda he has to adhere to, but he's gonna get through it
power
eventually.
through it as quickly as I can push it.
So, in the coming weeks, probably sooner will be season 2 of Tulsa King.
Yep.
And then later will be season 1 of Landman. I did not get to check out Disney Plus's new Spider-Man animated show yet. That's on my agenda. I did watch, this is, I guess, our review for the week. I did finally watch, because I knew it was going to be a quick watch, 25 minutes. Got on Hulu and watched the Abbott Elementary It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover, which I'd been wanting to watch for weeks. I will tell you this. It did not make me care any more about Abbott Elementary, but the meshing of the two seemed to work very well.
Frightening thought.
It's amazing to me, after when I was younger, watching Danny DeVito in Taxi. What he will do to himself now as an actor for laughs. I mean, I will give the guy all the credit in the world. And the thing is, it doesn't look like he's aged from then to now. Now he's got glasses. That's it. He looks the same.
He does not look much different.
He gets, and this has been out for weeks, so I don't care about spoilers. He gets caught up in this storyline where they're trying to catch raccoons outside the school. And he's telling the head custodian they need to get pelts soaked in urine in order to ward off the raccoons. And meanwhile, the custodian is saying, "No, we're gonna put ground like peat moss around it, and we're going to spice it up with garlic powder and chili pepper. Because what I've read online, that's supposed to ward them off. And so at the end, they go out, and of course he puts traps out using this peat moss with all the spices in it. And there's Danny DeVito inside the cage, wrapped in a urine-soaked pelt, with dirt smeared all over his face, saying that, oh, this was just too tasteful. I couldn't let it go. It's yummy. You should try some.
God.
The It's Always Sunny cast made this work.
Of course, because they're just wrong.
That was the part that, and they teach Charlie to read. They realize Charlie can't read. Charlie can't read.
Well, that explains a lot.
In the very last scene you see, another storyline they had going on was getting a new scoreboard for the gym. And you know how it's an old school scoreboard says
home visitors.
Guests. It says home and guests.
Or, yeah, guest.
It could say visitors too. But this one said guests. And Charlie at the end goes, he says something like, no wonder this school is so messed up. They play ghosts. So that's the only reason the show worked. I didn't see anything from the cast of Abbott Elementary
that made you want to watch more.
No, but everybody from It's Always Sunny made the show work.
Of course.
This particular episode would get a 3 frenzies for me.
All right.
I laughed enough. I liked it.
There you go. We've got one episode yet to go of season 2 of True Detective. Got put on a little hiatus, so we watched the 2 leading up to the finale. Now we have the last hour and a half run.
And you still got season 3 to go.
And then we've got season 3, which will get pushed back because of Landman.
But the thing is, they're not connected.
Right.
So it's
so
a completely different story.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to lose any kind of a narrative thread.
Yeah.
Speaking of, not really, but the Royal Rumble. This past weekend, the Royal Rumble. The men's winner, thank God, they did something smart. Yes, I'm talking about wrestling. They did something smart. I thought for sure they were going to, and they still might, push John Cena through to somehow have a title match in WrestleMania. And they had it down to 2 guys. John Cena and Jey Uso. Neither of which I like at all. But I was like, God, please, Jey Uso. Any day of the week.
Over Cena.
Please don't. Yeah, the old aging wrestler is going to beat the younger guy. Come on.
No.
And luckily, Jey Uso won. Now, that doesn't mean that John Cena couldn't win Elimination Chamber next month.
John, just give up the wrestling and stick to the acting.
We all know it's fake, but could we at least be a little bit realistic about this stuff?
Yeah, please.
And speaking of which, on the women's side, they completely botched it.
Well, of course they did.
They brought back, after being inactive for almost a year or maybe 2 years, Charlotte Flair came back with a leg brace on and won.
Oh, come on!
So now the Queen is going to get to pick either Rhea Ripley or most likely Tiffany Stratton to fight at WrestleMania.
Blah, blah, blah.
So that was pretty much it, other than, I will say this. We all know again, I will stress this, wrestling is fake. We all know this by now, right? Right?
Please please recognize that it's fake.
But I will say this. They do some incredibly weird, wild physical stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. The match for their title, for Cody Rhodes' title. Cody Rhodes won, but it was a ladder match. At the end, Kevin Owens looked like he legitimately needed to go to the hospital. He was torn up, and he got thrown through a ladder that was suspended horizontally between the ring and the announcer's table.
Oh, good God.
And Cody Rhodes basically took it over his head. Yep, and smashed him down into the ladder. And I was like,
okay, that's going to leave
hurt.
a mark.
That had to hurt. And he looked beaten to hell. Bleeding all over the place. So, I will give him credit. I hate to compare wrestling to
everything is scripted, but the physical stuff they do, you cannot fake everything. You cannot fake everything that they do.
No.
Yes, the slaps and but the slams and everything else.
When they jump off the top rope, this is why they get a lot of knee injuries. You see people have to drop out for 3 or 4 months because they tear an ACL. That kind of stuff's real. So I will say that. Kevin Owens looked like he was seriously hurt. But it's like the Roman Coliseum. We all sit there and we go, we want blood, we want blood, we want blood.
And then when you get it, you're like, oh, why do they do that?
Yeah.
No, just fill the Coliseum with water and sharks. And...
Oh, Jesus. Going back to last week, and I still have problems with my review of that. That is one of the best, stupidest scenes of all time in movie history. That's the one that's why I gave it 2.5, is because that was one of the dumbest scenes ever, but I loved it.
It was so damn cool the way that they pulled it off.
Oh my God. It's like Waterworld. Everybody hates Waterworld. I love Waterworld because it's so over-the-top stupid, but you go, that would be cool if the whole world was covered in water. And isn't that how they would kind of work?
Oh, wait, isn't that coming in the next 100 years?
Oh, yeah, climate change. Yeah, whatever. So your next wrestling update will be in March for Elimination Chamber.
All right, there you go. We do have a movie to review this week on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Yes, we do. We do have a movie. We are going to go back to last year, even though it wasn't really in the theaters all that long. Had to go out and buy it. It's not really on streaming. But
thank you for the birthday gift.
No, that had to be done. Because it's Kevin Smith.
And it is 4:30 movie.
Yes, this is, it's pretty obvious to me. This is an homage to many things in Kevin Smith's life. His childhood, his love of movies, John Hughes. This is obviously an homage to John Hughes.
It's God, the 80s references were brilliant. The way everything was set up, he nailed it well.
Yep. The one thing I will say, in a negative sense, is that, and he's had this problem in the past, except for Clerks 3, is the one time he pulled it off. And of course, you and I had a Sports Frenzy movie night out.
Yep.
You and I went to see Clerks 3. Other than that, I thought he did a great job with the serious moments in that movie. But any other movie he's done, he's had a problem with serious moments. And that was where, at the end of the 4:30 movie, it kind of felt a little mediocre, generic.
Yeah, the everybody getting along, and
Well, that was sweet and nice, but
it
it wrapped up a little too easily.
yeah.
More so the whole girlfriend boyfriend scene.
Yeah, that got a little awkward.
Yeah, it didn't really have anything to it.
No. The one scene I liked was the main character talking with the female employee of the movie theater.
Yes,
About
with the
becoming
Turk
a
182
director
in the
with Turk
background.
182. That scene was beautifully done.
Yeah, and you could tell that was him going back in time. I don't know if that's a direct reference to.
This really felt semi-autobiographical.
Oh yeah, and then
For sure.
like you're saying, that scene where they were going back and forth with the movie references and
Yeah.
that felt good. That felt genuine.
That was
That
was one of the strongest parts of the movie.
Yeah, the cameos were there. I don't know if they were, for the most part, effective. I think he tried more to just fit his guys in than to actually have them actually be in meaningful roles.
Right. But my God, when was the last time we saw Jason Lee in anything?
But even he was barely in it.
I know, but still,
Yeah.
he was in it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in anything.
I know. But same thing with Dante. Dante gets it after
Yeah.
a mid-credit scene that's not even funny.
It's kind of eh.
And then Randall barely shows up as the upset father.
Yeah. It's like,
But
they're there, you kind of have to look for them.
but yeah, all the movie references are tremendous. The Fletch references, which of course I had to explain this to my daughter when I told her I saw this movie, that Kevin Smith was supposed to do a remake of Fletch.
Yeah.
So this is an inside joke in that the movie that they really actually want to go see is basically, if you look at the movie poster, it's Fletch.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I still wanted to see Dental School.
I wanted to see, damn it, give me Dental School.
I wanted to see something from Dental School. Yes, Sister Sugar Walls was great.
No. God.
But it was fun. It was fun.
It was a
sweet.
fun, cute movie.
It was fun. It was sweet. It accomplished, I think.
Are
what
we
he-
wrestling? No!
Quit trying to take my mom's bacon. that stuff early on was so over the top funny. You know, trying to make fun of when we didn't know anything about how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fry up some bacon for you for the movie.
Oh, wait!
Yeah,
Don't have any until I put some mayonnaise on it.
I love that. I just thought that was so fun.
It's everything a growing boy needs to have a strong heart.
Yes. So I give the 4:30 movie a strong 3 frenzies.
Yes.
It's for being
right
an homage
there.
to the old John Hughes growing up movies.
I mean, you hit everything you needed to out of the 80s.
Yep. And I usually don't like Ken Jeong all that much. He was fine.
He
in
was
this.
good
He
in
was
this.
good in this. Yes.
Yeah, the last thing that I
Have
really
fun, don't
liked.
run. Have fun,
Fun,
don't
don't
run.
The last thing I really liked him in was Bachelor Part
The Hangover.
Hangover 2
Right. Yeah.
when they were in Thailand.
Yep. I agree.
That was
completely
his
agree.
best role overall.
Yeah. Yeah, that I agree. And we saw that together as well.
Yep.
And everybody still says The Hangover. No, the second
Hangover
one was better
2 was the best of the 3.
because it was darker. It took a little darker turn, made things work much better.
Yes.
But yeah, if you get a chance, again, I don't know if it's going to be on streaming, where or when, but
4:30 movie is worth watching.
And you've got to stick around for the credits.
Yes.
Because it will tie it all together.
Just like a good carpet. A rug, sorry.
You've just got to do it. Man up and put it in. But I'm scared. And then they
so
show
good.
you what they're talking about, and it all connects.
It all ties in.
Yep. And again, this is, let's just say again, for the last time, this is very obviously autobiographical for Kevin Smith.
Yep. So, very good. Very good movie.
Yes. All right, so news. We got news, and trailers.
Lots of trailers.
Let's do the trailers first. Because I know you and I have either watched them together or we've talked about them. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yes.
Good and bad. Good and bad. That's what I take from this.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be better than the last one, but I don't know if that's a big compliment.
I know. There's still scenes out of the like. It's still kind of cringy.
One of the dinosaurs, the new dinosaur, looks like a xenomorph from Alien.
A little bit. It's got that.
The bald, kind of long head.
Yeah.
And I just know, I don't know what to make of that. And then outside of Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, the cast is pretty nondescript.
Yeah. Nick and I my son Nick and I watched it, and he's like, "Yeah, looks good. I want to see it." He wants to see how they do the Utah Raptor in this versus when Primeval comes out, which was the Vietnam.
Right, you guys have
that we have been reading.
Yeah.
So he wants to do a comparison on how they do the Utah Raptor.
Like I said, this one looks better than the last Jurassic World, but I don't know how much better.
We'll have to wait and see.
Then, of course, we have the Fantastic Four. Number one, I told you that fucker would not shave his mustache for this, didn't I?
Yep.
I told
Pedro
you.
Pascal should not be Mr. Fantastic.
For that and that alone.
He's just not Mr.
Marvel
Fantastic.
fucking bent over backwards for him. Now they've told the comic book division, you will now portray Reed Richards with mustache and goatee.
No. Dumb beyond belief.
How the fuck do you do that for an actor?
It's pathetic. The actor shaves for the character. The character's not changed for the actor.
So that's my number one problem. That's my number one problem. the as people have called it, the Jetsons feel, I kind of like.
The retro?
Yeah, the
retro 60s feel. I love that. I love that for this reboot of it.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Mrs. Fantastic.
She's...
Johnny, they don't show enough about him, but he looks fine.
He should be all right.
Here's my problem with the thing. Looks great. Looks great.
Fantastic.
And as many people have noted, he claps his hands and it sounds like rocks
Yes.
hitting. Voice. Terrible voice.
Yeah, the voice
Terrible voice. I don't care. He's a man made of rock. It's like the Hulk. The voice has got to be deeper.
It's got to be a little gravelly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Wouldn't that make sense? I don't like the fact they didn't change the actor's voice.
Yeah. It needed...
From what he is in human form to what he becomes as the Thing. When Michael Chiklis had a deeper voice.
Yeah, they
played
changed
the thing,
it up.
I don't like it. He sounds too much of a. The Thing's got to be a little bit more menacing.
Yeah.
In terms of his presence.
That's the only thing I didn't like about the Thing was the voice.
Right.
Otherwise, I think they got it right.
We did not get a look at the Silver Surfer yet, but we got a slight view of Galactus.
Yeah.
Which looked good. Which looked very good.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I just don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
I would have been fine with it if they don't change the character for him. Kiss his ass.
I don't like him as an actor.
But beyond that, I'm just saying
you don't fuck
do
with
that.
the character.
That's my huge problem with it, is you kiss his ass to the point where you change a character who's been around since the 60s. Where we can't piss Pedro off. We can't make him shave his mustache.
Yes, you
then
can.
Maybe you find somebody else to play Reed Richards.
Somebody better.
I'm sure there were dozens of other actors who would have been more than happy to take on the mantle of Reed Richards. And by the way, you wonder how much they've got done of this movie. You never saw Reed Richards stretch out.
No. Nope.
So you wonder how much of this movie's actually done.
How close is it? How close is it really?
You wonder if any of the special effects for Reed Richards are done yet.
Yeah, you saw one little blip of Johnny Flame taken off.
Yep.
So.
And I'm kind of shocked they showed as much of the Thing as they did.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the big reveal.
Big hang up, yeah.
Is to see what the Thing looks like. Is the Thing going to look real? Is the Thing going to... Because that's got to be the toughest character in comic books to pull off. Along with the Hulk.
Yeah.
All right, coming up on Netflix is The Electric State. I know you haven't watched this, but this looks like a very interesting movie. Starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. Black Bag is another one.
Yep.
That one I think you'll be interested in, with Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett as married spies. And then one of them could be possibly a traitor. So how far do you go for your spouse? Covering up. Then, of course, the one I have been looking forward to for ages. Final Destination Bloodlines.
Holy shit, this could be very, very good. Although there's no...
The trailer looks like it hasn't missed a step.
Yeah, the whole domino effect for bad things happening continues.
Yep. And the trailer implicates that it runs in a family. So that tells me that the characters involved here are tied into the
descendants
the people
of the original, or maybe the last one. We'll have to see.
Yep. And then, of course, a couple commercials. Of course, with Super Bowl weekend coming up, and I know Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, will be one of these commercials, but they haven't released it yet early.
Nope, because Fantastic Four and Jurassic World were supposed to be released during the Super Bowl.
Now, but they said, you're right about Jurassic World. The thing is, with Fantastic Four, they wanted the 4th. They released it on the 4th.
Whatever.
F4. February the 4th. F4.
Lame.
But we've got a new Dung Kings commercial coming with Ben Affleck. And then we've got, it's already been released, the full Uber Eats, Matthew McConaughey food conspiracy football commercial.
Oh my God.
Which
brilliant.
Is, yes, absolutely brilliant.
Perfect.
And I love these commercials that actually take the time, put some money into it, put some thought into it like they used to in the old days, and make these events. The only thing is, why are you releasing them early?
Because maybe they're releasing the better ones because they know people aren't interested in this one.
The game?
Yeah.
The Super Bowl? Could be.
Potentially.
Could be. I'm not going to dispute you on that. But yeah, I will watch this Uber Eats one over and over again.
That is so brilliant.
What can we name the team in Buffalo, Bill?
Bill?
Buffalo? Bill?
Everybody loves bacon.
All right. Ready for some news?
Sure.
So the 4:30 movie, we both kind of gave it 3. Right?
Yep.
All right. We were talking about, months ago, watching possibly Hysteria. Remember that one on Peacock? Bruce Campbell?
Yes, yeah.
The whole heavy metal band.
Yes.
Death. Well, I don't know if it's worth it because they will not renew it.
Well, F them then.
Hysteria is done after 1 season on Peacock.
Not gonna waste my time then.
Even with the great Bruce Campbell. Even with the great Bruce Campbell. Hulu is talking about bringing back, believe it or not, Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Really?
Yes. So
Interesting.
That's kind of intriguing. Netflix, this was their big reveal week the last week, I guess, where they talk about their next year of what's coming out, when it's coming out, and their big plans. So here you go. Rapid fire. Good and bad. I told you about Squid Game.
Yep, I'm waiting.
Squid Game 3, which is basically the second half of season 2, will be out June the 27th.
All right, so something to watch this summer.
There you go. Unfortunately, The Gentleman season 2 will not be out until 2026.
Those fucking bastards.
See, that's the bad. There you go. There's the bad. Now, this is a show I do want to watch.
Now, is it because the lead character is now in The Monkey that's coming out? Did that push production back?
I think they said it's more Guy Ritchie.
Ah, okay.
With what he's got on his slate. He's got so much going on.
Well, what the fuck has he been doing for the last year and a half?
He's got stuff in the hopper. You know, they talk about the hopper.
Fuck the hopper. You've got something that's going. Get this shit done.
But you know this happens.
I know.
This doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't.
It pisses me off too, but it doesn't surprise me.
Fuckers.
And finally, this one, not a show I don't think you would normally watch. I do want to watch it because it's a comic book show. But this ties into some really disturbing stuff. And that is The Sandman. The DC show.
Yeah.
Will be ending with season 2, which is coming up soon. This, of course, was a DC Vertigo comic series years ago. But the big problem with this...
By the now disgraced Neil Gaiman.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything, and the allegations.
Everything involving Neil Gaiman is done, on hold, canceled, because of, these disturbing allegations with him.
And his wife.
Now, we've talked about this. We're not going to pass judgment. Isn't? We will not pass judgment until we get all the facts.
Yes.
But yes, Neil Gaiman, his career right now definitely in flux. Moving on to movies. The movie news. You're going to have fun with this. You can have some fun with some of these. Now, first up, Terrifier 4 is now officially a go, but it will be the final film in the series, as they say.
As they say. Right.
And if it makes a ton of money, do you really think...
They're not going to end it? Come on.
But Terrifier 4... After the huge success of Terrifier 3, again, final film in the series, supposedly, this one will reveal the origin of Art the Clown.
All right.
Looking forward.
Everybody likes the origin story.
I have not seen 3. I'm dying to. Dying to see 3.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah. Now, I watched Den of Thieves, the first one. Loved it. Loved it. It comes off, and I reviewed it, I think, on one of your off weeks. I reviewed it. It's basically Heat with a lower budget.
Okay.
But it's got the whole master criminal versus... Yeah.
Nice.
You would like it. If you get a chance to watch.
It's on the radar.
So Den of Thieves 2 Pantera is still out in theaters. They have already decided to go ahead with Den of Thieves 3.
Well, there you go.
So that is in development already.
Due to be released in 2029.
Stop. No, they put these out quicker. Well, now that I think about it, no, maybe not. Yeah, 2029 sounds about right. Yeah, I was skewed because I just watched Den of Thieves. That doesn't mean it came out recently.
Right, it's been out for a bit.
Yeah. Speaking of something that's been out for a bit, coming out August the 29th, The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, God, not again.
The official reboot, redo.
Oh, come on.
Starring your friend and mine, Peter Dinklage. Will be out August the 29th. Wide release. Wide release day.
Trauma films.
Now, I do have an apology, a correction to make. We've always said that we do not apologize for being politically incorrect, and we don't. But if we have a factual error, we will apologize. This one I will not. I will apologize for, but it's not my fault. This whole streaming bullshit, all these different countries involved, I'm fucking tired of it. A couple months ago, I was looking forward to this. I got Dave all hyped up on this. We thought last fall we were getting from Amazon Prime Nautilus.
Right. Yes.
The story of Captain Nemo and the submarine, and I gave you a release date, and I thought, where is it? And we're waiting. Only released in the UK.
Bastards!
So I do apologize for the fact that I got you guys all geeked up about it, but I did not realize that Amazon would not let those of us in America watch this.
You scuzzballs.
So yeah, this Nautilus series is only available overseas on Amazon.
For now. Don't like it.
Okay. Before we move on to your book review, last little tidbit of movie news. If you could pick a song to make a movie about, what would it be?
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You could make a movie about that.
You could.
Yeah, a hitman.
Yep.
This isn't where we're going with this, though. Because yours sounds a lot better than this.
Oh, no.
We're going to go back, oh boy, almost 40 years, to one of the cheesiest songs of all time, late 70s, which will finally be made into a feature film. Could it end up being straight to streaming? Maybe. Escape, the Pina Colada song.
Oh, God, no!
Is going to be put into development as a feature film.
What fucking retard
If
is
you like
doing
pina
this
coladas and
and
getting caught in the rain. If you're not into yoga, if you have a brain. See, we know the lyrics. What does that say about us? We know the lyrics.
We're a product of our generation.
This should be a Hallmark movie. How the hell is this going to be possibly a theatrical release?
Oh, God.
What's up? What's up next? You Light Up My Life?
Well, we've already had Harper Valley PTA.
Yeah, but that was fun. Barbara Eden?
Come on.
All right, we're going to go back in time yet again. And we're going to talk about another segment. Now, earlier this week on the Sports Edition, we talked about Frenzy 5-0, which is where we talked about our crime blotter, where it was sports figures, athletes, celebrities who would get in trouble with the law. Another one of our famous, lesser-known segments was Literary Frenzy.
Yep, and we bring this up every so often. We just did it not that long ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yep, we talked about the latest Robert B. Parker, Mike Lupica.
Yep, or was that last week?
And then a couple weeks before that, it was Lee Child.
Yep,
And Reacher.
In Too Deep.
We like to keep you kids interested in reading. Riff. Reading is fundamental. So your Uncle Dave has now got another book review for you. Don't forget to read books. Books are important to keep your library system up and functioning.
Get some good ideas if you want to develop your own screenplay.
Don't be like Charlie Day.
Yeah, we're not playing ghosts, kids. All right. So, Michael Connelly, big author, started with the Harry Bosch novels. Became big on Prime, then went to Tubi with the Legacy, Bosch Legacy. Soon in development now, his latest character, Renee Ballard, who's been in about a half a dozen books. Another LA police officer working the late shift, befriended Harry Bosch. He's helped her out along the way. So now she's running the Open Unsolved unit, looking after cold cases that hadn't been solved, finding new evidence, trying to clear things. Well, they find evidence linking a 20-year-old serial rapist and murderer that has dire consequences to the volunteers of the Open Unsolved unit. So as they're looking into who the murderer or the rapist could be, they also wind up, Ballard has to get her badge and gun and credentials back. They were stolen out of her van while she was out surfing. So she's working to get those back, enlists Harry's help, and there's a terrorist plot, domestic terrorist plot in play that they stumble upon. So she has to keep herself out of the investigation to hide the fact that she lost her badge. Didn't report it, wanted to do it on her own, because she's not in the best graces with the higher-ups. And then you have the third storyline in the waiting. Harry's daughter, Maddie, is now a patrol police officer who wants to work Open Unsolved because in her storage unit, the manager brings to her attention a unit that's no longer being paid. It went into default, so they open it up, finds disturbing murder photos, one of which is the infamous Black Dahlia.
Oh, geez.
So they tie in the Black Dahlia case. Did they find the actual perpetrator.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, that is
That
arguably
is
the most
the
infamous murder
L.A.
case.
murder case.
Yeah, the most infamous murder case in LA history.
Yeah. That part alone is very intriguing, the way they work that in. But with everything going on, and wow, what happens to one of the volunteers, the one you would least likely to think anything would happen to. Wow. Did not think they would go there, but Connolly did. I appreciated that fact. The darker turns that this has taken. I will give this one a 3.5.
Wow, that's a high ranking.
The way he kept the storylines moving and interflowing together, and the balance of all of them was really well done. And he's got Harry kind of in a sub role as he's still dealing with his cancer treatments, trying to bounce back. Maddie, his daughter, who's been throughout coming into her own, who's kind of a key point in the legacy, which third and final season will be coming out here in a couple months. And then with the onset of Ballard, as the new series begins, I just really like the way he tied it all together.
Very high marks.
It is. It's this is one of the this is the best Ballard book he's done. Just weaving everything together.
I don't think you were here the week I had the bad news about Titus Welliver.
Oh, no.
I think I passed that along the week you were gone.
You did not inform me of anything with Mr. Welliver.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't think you're going to ever see him in any Bosch show again.
What did he do?
He has signed on, and of course the kids out there know this, because I talked about it a couple weeks ago. You're not going to like this. And I when I heard it, I didn't like it. He is signed on to join CBS's The Equalizer.
Oh, Titus, what are you doing to me?
And he is going to potentially be part of a spin-off from The Equalizer. Which will preclude him from doing anything involving Bosch anymore. We all know how I feel about The Equalizer. I think you feel the same way.
It sucks. It sucks.
It's not right. Queen Latifah couldn't beat up anybody, let alone hardened major criminals.
It just doesn't work.
And we all love it. It's great. Let's just make more. Let's spin shows off from it. It sucks balls. It's a bastardization of not only the original, but even the Denzel Washington movies. You found a way to fuck off an old white man and a solid, middle-aged, arguably the best black actor out there. And you still managed to fuck it all up. Queen Latifah as the Equalizer. Please, give me a fucking break.
I watched 15 minutes of one episode. It was not good.
Now see, you get mad at me about the Tom Cruise Reacher stuff. I won't subject myself to 2 seconds of that bullshit. No way in hell. That's where my principalities kick in. I wouldn't watch 2 seconds of that bullshit.
I needed to find out how bad it actually was.
But you won't watch Tom Cruise's Reacher.
No.
See, okay. You got your lines, I got my lines.
There you go.
All right. One more thing in the book realm before we move on to Moments of Silence and our dumbasses of the week. We have the return of Robert Langdon. Dan Brown. His new book, The Secret of Secrets. The latest Robert Langdon thriller will be out September the 9th, 2025.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I've always kind of... I am not caught up on those books, but I've always found them interesting.
They're entertaining.
Yes. So that leads us into Moments of Silence. Marianne Faithfull, big rock star from the 60s, some say the muse for Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, passed away. I'm still scared to death that we're going to get a cascade of music artists.
The dominoes are going to fall quickly.
Yeah. So, still worried. Still unbelievable how Keith Richards. It's amazing.
All the
to
memes.
Me. Oh, amazing to me. And then this one I just found.
Did you see the meme of him holding a baby? It said him holding Eve.
Amazing. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Now this one, just for me personally, we're talking about death, but the fact that I'm bringing this gentleman up is kind of fun once I explain it. So the other moment of silence in pop culture is John Irwin. Who's John Irwin? John Irwin was a very well-known voice actor, known for He-Man and Morris the Cat.
God, Morris the Cat. Good Lord.
9 Lives.
Yep. Wow.
Thought that was kind of fun. All right, Dave, what do we do now?
Now it's time to pivot. Find out who is the Red Foreman dumbass of the week.
Oh boy, this is...
Who gets the golden boot up the ass?
I would love to see. We got to make a trophy. The golden boot up the ass. Let's start off with the obvious. All right. I don't know. I got 5 of them this week. We'll start off with the obvious. If I say that, Dave, who do you think I'm talking about? If I say we're going to start off with one of the obvious
Somebody on The View?
Who would that be?
Whoopi or Joy?
Joy Behar.
It was a 50-50 shot.
Joy Behar. Of course, the most evil human being on the face of the earth. We have, of course, now we're a month into the transition into the new leadership in Washington. And of course, you have these new appointees and people in office that President Trump has put in, including Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt. Now, Carolyn Leavitt, as opposed to Sideshow Bob.
Pierre or whatever.
Yeah. Pierre Jean-Pierre, Corinne Jean-Pierre. There we go. Yeah. The Sideshow Bob lesbian. Carolyn Leavitt, a very attractive heterosexual woman. Joy Behar goes out on The View and says, you women are awesome. You women are fucking awesome how you stick up for each other. You know? Joy Behar says Carolyn Leavitt only got her job because she's a 10. Here's the thing, Joy. You wouldn't know anything about being a 10. You wouldn't know anything about being a 5. You're barely a 2.
Well, that's generous.
Well, she's got tits, so there you go.
Oh,
but
God, she's an idiot.
I saw articles about this where women were writing about this reaction, saying this is why people hate women, you know? is that women treat each other like shit.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to stop doing that. You know? A former Hollywood executive gets no jail time for flying his drone into a Canadian super scooper. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the LA fires. And we had to bring down planes from Canada to help put out
the fire.
The fire.
Yes. The
And
super
a Hollywood
scooper comes in to a body of water, scoops up said water into the hold to drop on the fire.
Yeah, so this Hollywood executive, former Hollywood executive, decided, I want to throw a drone up there and see what kind of footage I can get. Damages the super scooper.
Idiot.
Where it cannot fly for days. Gets no jail time. Has to pay for repairs, $65,000, and gets 150 hours of community service.
Fucktard Hollywood.
For taking a vital piece of equipment out
of commission
during the fight of the wildfires.
I think he needs to be held accountable for how many properties were damaged in the time that plane was down.
And believe it or not, people were out there defending him.
Oh, come on!
When they saw, these experts, you know, because Hollywood's full of experts.
Keep your fucking drones out of everything. Worst damn invention ever.
They showed pictures of the damage, and some people were saying, that couldn't have been enough to keep the plane out of commission. This is bullshit.
Bullshit is this asshole thinking he's better than everybody else.
But that's California for you.
There you go. We were promised.
And I will still be on the sports side, be bitter about Andy Reid and him and his son till the day I die. And I will never, ever like that man for what he did.
Nope.
And I will tell you on this side of things, I cannot stand the fact
the elitist Hollywood.
Everybody ignores the poor people of North Carolina, but everybody rallies around California. Fuck you. Fuck you. If we're not all in this together, then California can go burn in hell. Either you help out everybody,
or you don't help anyone.
Yeah, it's every man and woman for himself, herself, every child. You want to play that game? You want to play Road Warrior, Mad Max, Thunderdome? Fine. Just tell me. If I know the rules, I know the rules.
Yep. Why are we helping California when we didn't help North Carolina?
Oh, let's bring in the Alphabet Mafia.
Why?
Because one of their own, Carla Sofia Gascon, the trans actress who was nominated for Best Actress in the Oscars for Emilia Perez, the Netflix movie. By the way, Netflix will not get involved in this, but Mr.
It
has now been exposed for tweets. Of course, it used to be Twitter, now it's X. Hateful, nasty tweets about Islam, George Floyd, Hitler, and even past Oscar award winners.
Yeah, these were not good comments. This is not a good individual.
But again, because he, she, it is a member of the trans community, where's the Alphabet Mafia now? That's what I want to point out.
They're not denigrating one of their own.
Any and every person, regardless of race, creed, color, sexual orientation,
needs to be held accountable.
Has the potential for evil. Do not let the alphabet mafia fool you and bully you into thinking they're also virtuous and pious. They're just as nasty and bad and flawed as everybody else.
If not worse. Because they got the bully pulpit.
I'm wondering if it is going to make it through to the Oscars.
Probably not.
Because she's already been told you're not welcome at any award ceremony leading up to the Oscars. Now, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about what was said, because some of it, I hate to say it, I agree with. George Floyd especially. But, I mean, the Oscars have been very PC as of late, and she had something to say about that, but in very disparaging terms that I wouldn't even go down that road. Talking about Hitler. Anytime you talk about Hitler, here's what you need to say. Hitler was bad. That's what you need to say. Hitler was bad.
Hitler bad. That's it. There is no Hitler had some good ideas. That is not no.
Yes.
No.
Hitler bad. That's all you need to say. 2 words. Hitler bad. Hitler bad. And then finally, the last two are tied together. Our buddies at Meta. Mark Zuckerberg.
Douche.
I find it funny that Mark Zuckerberg has been kissing Donald Trump's ass, yet Meta settled with Donald Trump for $25 million over his account being suspended for 2 years, from 2021 to 2023. A little bit of an exoneration moment for the current president. But when I look at this is, don't be a dumbass, don't censor free speech, whether you like it or whether you don't. People have the right to say what they want to say. As long as they're not yelling fire in a crowded movie theater, you would never have pulled this shit with Joe Biden, yet you
did with
whether you hate the guy or not, you don't really have the right to censor him. But then they've got other problems going on at Meta.
Lots of problems.
Their employees are upset, Dave. You know why?
Do they have to go back to the office?
Well, the men are upset. And I'll tell you why. And it's something you would never believe why they're mad. But the men are mad because they removed the tampons from the men's bathrooms. Dave's like, I don't know how to respond to that. Meta employees are upset. And they are protesting the removal of tampons from the men's bathrooms. And you know what they did to protest? A lot of the men brought in their own tampons. Because they swear that this is a violation of free speech. It has nothing to do with the fact that they really need the tampons in the men's bathrooms. But by taking them out,
I would have been pissed that they were put in to begin with. Fucking California. There you go. That's all you have to say.
So, Dave, we have got Joy Behar. We have got this Hollywood executive with his drone. We have got Oscar nominee Carla Sofia Gascon and 2 instances of Meta. Which one do you pick for the Red Foreman Pop Culture Dumbass of the Week?
The fucktard men who work for Meta, who think they have to have tampons. Fucking losers.
It's a violation of Their individual rights.
They're stupid idiots.
Did somebody plug
Those
up the
California fuckwads?
Did somebody plug up all the glory holes or what?
My God.
What pissed them off so much? They probably wouldn't even know what to do with a glory hole.
Exactly.
Boy. I'm going to go with the drone guy.
That's my number 2.
And then the reaction from some of the idiots out there who said, it wasn't that bad. Look, the pictures don't show enough damage where he should have had to do anything or pay anything.
No, he should have had to pay for everything that was burned while it was down.
So there you go, kids.
Can we just say the state of California and be done?
But you're going to get me pissed off again, because then I'm going to start thinking about North Carolina. I am so mad about that. Nobody's saying we don't help other Americans. But when we go to the point where, and we seem to do this way too often, and it's been the last 15 years, guaranteed the last 15 years, yes, take that back to 2010, and you can figure out where I'm going with that. But ever since 2010, we don't care about each other. We don't look out for each other. It's all fractured because of politics. And if that's the fucking way it's going to go, where it's all New York and California and everybody else can go burn in hell, then I do want what Dave always says to happen. I want California to fall the fuck into the ocean.
We were promised.
And then we'll take care of New York on our own.
Shouldn't it be a penal colony at this point?
Snake Plissken. And despite all the times they have talked about remaking that movie, they've never gotten it off the ground. You know why? Because you don't want to fuck with that movie, and you don't want to fuck with Snake Plissken.
That's right.
So Dave and I have spoken. We have laid down our judgment for the week. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever, send us a comment. We're not afraid. We'll take you on. For better or for worse.
It is what it is.
But until next week, if you listen to the sports edition next Thursday morning, otherwise,
Saturday.
7 days from now, we'll be back with your weekend hangover cure. That's your Uncle Dave.
That's your Uncle Kev.
Say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.